In modern Indian travel content, three landscapes dominate the imagery: vibrant saffron fields, vast tea estates, and golden terrace rice farms. Social media algorithms heavily prioritize these locations. They serve up endless cinematic clips to travelers desperate to lock in a perfect bucket list experience. But those viral images are highly deceptive. They capture a tiny, heavily edited fraction of the year. For the remaining 10 or 11 months, these exact same locations are dominated by deep mud, dead brush, and harsh, unyielding weather. This creates a very real problem. When you decide to travel to one of these spots, you are making a high-stakes investment. You are gambling your finite vacation days and your budget on unpredictable agricultural cycles. So if you actually want to experience these places without ruining your trip, you need to stop asking which location is the prettiest. You need to ask which logistical reality you can actually survive.
Think of your itinerary as a rigid asset allocation problem. Your currency is time, and your constraint is your personal risk tolerance. Let's plot these on an agritourism matrix, comparing our three locations across aesthetic draw, accessibility, and peak viewing window. Darjeeling offers highly developed year-round accessibility. Conversely, Pampore and Uttarakhand have highly ephemeral windows, leaving zero margin for error in your planning. The governing rule of this matrix is simple. Chasing the absolute highest aesthetic peak requires absorbing the highest logistical risk. Let's start with Pampore, located in the Kashmir Valley. The main draw here is witnessing the harvest of the world's most expensive spice, saffron, often called red gold. Travelers come for this exact view: millions of purple crocus flowers blooming simultaneously against the backdrop of the misty Kashmiri mountains. It looks like a scene pulled straight out of a film. But the value of this crop comes from the intense manual labor required to extract it. Every single flower contains just a few tiny red stigmas that must be carefully pulled by hand. The catch is the timing. This massive bloom only happens once a year, usually for just a few weeks in late autumn. If you book your flights a week too early or a week too late, or if an unexpected frost rolls in, you see nothing but empty dirt. Your entire travel investment zeroes out instantly. Looking at a risk assessment chart, Pampore saffron sits on the extreme end of the scale. Massive potential impact, demanding the absolute highest level of logistical effort. Booking this trip means you are willing to gamble your entire vacation on a meteorological coin toss. If you want to eliminate that timing risk, you pivot to the tea estates of Assam and Darjeeling. These are the logistical polar opposites of Pampore. You still get a stunning visual payout. These estates offer miles of thick, green natural carpets and dense morning mist, and crucially, they look like this for the vast majority of the year. This reliability is the result of a heavily manicured, deeply entrenched industry. People have been cultivating these specific slopes at a massive scale for generations.
Because the industry is so massive, the infrastructure is bulletproof. You have consistent domestic flights with well-paved roads and plenty of hotels. You are nearly insulated from logistical failure. But you pay for that accessibility. Because it's so easy to reach, millions of other tourists make the exact same choice. You will share those misty views with massive crowds, entirely removing the feeling of rare, off-grid discovery. On our chart, the tea gardens sit securely in the low-effort, high-reliability zone. Choosing Darjeeling or Assam means you are explicitly trading away exclusivity to guarantee a solid return on your travel time. Finally, we move out to the remote mountain terrain of Uttarakhand and northeast India. Here, farmers have literally carved the mountainsides into massive, sweeping staircases. The visual peak here is incredibly specific. When the heavy rains hit, these terrace steps fill to the brim with water. As the sun hits them, the entire mountain reflects light like hundreds of shattered mirrors. But to witness those reflecting pools, you have to time your trip directly into the teeth of the active monsoon season. Traveling mountain roads during heavy rain guarantees severe delays. You are actively increasing your exposure to mudslides, blocked mountain passes, and days of physical discomfort just trying to reach the site. Because of the weather variable, terrace farming plots as a highly volatile option on our chart. High effort with the impact entirely dependent on conditions outside your control. The terrain itself acts as a natural gatekeeper. It keeps the crowds away, but rewards only the travelers willing to endure physical exhaustion for a single, perfect photograph. Choosing between these three destinations has nothing to do with picking the best landscape. It requires an honest audit of your own patience, budget, and constraints.
Let's run your constraints through a decision tree. What's your biggest limiting factor? If time is limited, follow the reliability path. Chasing a rare spectacle and can accept failure, follow the exclusivity path. This framework aligns your desires with meteorological realities. Here is the final verdict. If you're a time-constrained optimizer who needs a guaranteed return on investment, lock in the Assam or Darjeeling tea estates. If you are a high-stakes experience hunter, target the Pampur saffron harvest. Just know exactly what you are risking when you look closely at the dirt and sparse fields required to yield that famous bloom. And if you are an immersive adventurer willing to endure bad roads and wet boots for a completely off-grid shot, commit to the monsoon terrace farms of Uttarakhand. Do not mix these up. Putting an impatient traveler on the muddy mountain pass, or dropping an extreme adventurer into a manicured tea resort surrounded by tour buses, instantly destroys the value of the trip. The visual payoff of nature is governed strictly by the unsympathetic laws of seasonality. Stop chasing the specific location you saw on a timeline. Choose the travel logistics that will actually allow you to enjoy the view.